Okay, did you go with the assignment given to you? Control related audit objectives. You have to do it. Yeah, control related audit objectives. Like what are the points, what are the objectives, what are the things? Just go through the same. If not, I'll remind you again. Ante. Control related audit objectives. Amma munde cheptunna. Even though you give complaints, sir is giving assignments, but sir is not giving the answers in the classroom. It's not practically possible to give the answers in the classroom for everything. Because point number 1, you're having bulky syllabus. Yes, nijangane the bulky. For the subject of CMA, that's more. If I have started explaining about the each and every assignment I've given to you in the classroom itself, then it will not make sense for you. Moreover, I've given you that assignment. I will give you that answer. What about another question if you've got in the exam? Totally new వస్తుంది మీకు. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఎందుకు తెలుసా ఆన్సర్స్ చెప్పకుండా పక్కన పెట్టేసేది? If not today, tomorrow you will try to know the answer. In the course of searching, you will understand how to write a new question. If not, you will have to just mug up the things. But by hearting won't fetch you at all. So even though in examination he is asking direct question, say for example he is asking only direct question, no practical question is there. I already told you, for the first paper he asked 2 practical question. For the next paper, anta general scenario lo question em adagaledu. But who knows what will happen to the next attempt? Who knows what will happen to your attempt? So it's fate. దాని బదులు ఇఫ్ యూ ప్రిపేర్డ్ ప్రయర్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్, ముందుగానే ప్రిపేర్ అయితే కొంచెం బెటర్ కదా. సో అసైన్మెంట్స్ ఇవ్వడం నా బాధ్యత, చేయడం నీ వంతు. ఇట్స్ యువర్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ టు కంప్లీట్ ద అసైన్మెంట్స్, అంతే. యూ కాంట్ complaint or you can't blame that sir is not giving answers for the assignment. That's not practically possible. It is not possible, amma. నేను మీకు అట్లా అయితే మొన్న ఎన్ని స్కామ్స్ మీకు చెక్అవుట్ చేసుకుని రమ్మన్నా. Sir, moreover, don't think that every question will be asked in the examination. I ask you to know the work culture. He don't ask the same in the exam. I ask you to know about the companies, TCS, Infosys and RIL. It won't ask in the examination. You even don't ask control related audit objectives in the examination. You don't ask that. But you should know it. And he will be too generously, he can ask one question. But to answer that, you need the knowledge of understanding the concepts well. Those are not just the concepts which are given in the material. General concepts. మీకు అసైన్మెంట్స్ హార్డ్లీ వచ్చేవి ఇక్కడ మాత్రమే వస్తాయి. కాస్ట్ ఆడిట్ ఈస్ ఫుల్లీ లా, యూ వోంట్ గెట్ ఎనీథింగ్. అగైన్ యూ విల్ గెట్ లిటిల్ అసైన్మెంట్స్ ఇన్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ ఆడిట్, అంతే. ఇనీషియల్ స్టేజెస్ యూ విల్ గెట్ గుడ్ అసైన్మెంట్స్, అండ్ అగైన్ ఇన్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ ఆడిట్ యూ విల్ బి గెటింగ్ అసైన్మెంట్. ఫోరెన్సిక్ ఆడిట్, యాంటీ మనీ లాండరింగ్ అండ్ కాస్ట్ ఆడిట్, నాట్ ఈవెన్ ఎ సింగిల్ అసైన్మెంట్ యూ విల్ గెట్. వస్తే అక్కడో ఇక్కడో ఒకటో రెండో, అంతే. Anyways, let's come back to the next one. What are the types of internal control? Please start reading.
What are the types of internal control? Types of internal control. Administrative control.
So tell me, my dear children, what is administrative controls? All the office related functions, whether the management is taking care with respect to all the office related functions properly or not. In turn, if administration control is not proper, they can't make good decisions. If administrative control is not proper, they can't take good decisions at all. So for better decision making, administrative control is very much necessary. See here one of the examples given. Maintenance of records, giving details of customers contacted by the salesman. Say for example, salesman contacting the customers. What is the proof that you have contacted the customers? What is the proof that you have spoken to the customers? You have to maintain a record and submit that record along with all the phone numbers and along with all the details what you have spoken. Which customer is having interest to purchase the product? Which customer shows disinterest? Why he is disinterest towards the product? How to make it interest for the customer? You have to think about all the alternatives and it will help you for better decision making. So administrative control is nothing but whether you're doing the work or not. Whether you're doing the work or not will be known only with these administration controls. Best example, whether the teacher is coming on time or not. You'll be maintaining a class record, correct or wrong. That's an administration control. Attendance, biometric, attendance, etc. That's an administration control. Clear everybody? Next.
Administrative controls.
Yeah, that's okay. Next.
Operational control.
Operational control can be exercised through management accounting. In the sense, cost and management accounting or strategic cost management. Budget and budgetary control, process costing, standard costing, marginal costing, absorption costing, all these things can be possible only through operational control. In the sense, better operations are going in the organization or not. Whether the operations are going in the organization better or not. What kind, in which operation you are having losses, in which operation you are having profits, all those things you will be having. Clear everybody? So you have to compare each and everything actually. Something like budget and budgetary control. What is a master budget? What is a sales budget? What is a purchase budget? What is a cash budget? How many units you will be having in a month? And how many units you have to sell in a month? How much cash you will generate? How much advance you have to pay to the customer? Creditor. How much amount you are receiving from the customers? Clear everybody? All these things. Coming to standard costing. What are your standards and what are your actuals? Compare variances. Why the variances were there? Sir, for your kind information, not only extend your concentration for unfavorable variances, also you have to extend your concentration for favorable variances. Why it is favorable? Likewise, sometimes you might estimate that the product cost is 10 rupees, but the product is available at 7 rupees only. Will it happens every year or only in this year? How can you tell answer for that? Whether it happens in every year or it happens only in this year, that is very much needed. They have to inquire the same. Clear everybody? So like that they need to go with management accounting. And next, marginal costing, contribution analysis, decision making. What is a key factor? What is it called? The word ఉంటుంది చూడండి మీకు. Restricting factor ఏదో ఉంటుంది కదా. Limiting factor. What is a limiting factor? How can you efficiently and effectively use the limiting factor? That is a place where your business will grow. That is a place where your business will grow. You have to concentrate on the limited factor. Whether material, labor, etc. Okay, machine, yes. So that's like very, very important. Anyways, that's all about your operational control. And the next one?
Financial and accounting control.
Of course, financial and accounting control, a popular and common thing. Book records must always be reconciled with physical records. That is what your financial and accounting control is all about. Something like safeguarding of assets, maintain an asset register, prevention and detection of fraud and error. Always reconcile your physical stock valuation with perpetual valuation, like inventory ledger, understanding, and cash book. Check out how much cash as per the cash book and how much cash is there in the cash box. So physical records must be reconciled with book records. Understood? Next one.
Compliance control.
And accuracy and completeness of accounting records. You have to complete that. Properly you should complete your accounting records. Timely preparation of reliable financial information, which might be either cost statements or which might be either financial statements. They must be properly prepared on a timely basis. Current year financial statements can't be prepared after 10 years. Which have to be prepared in the current year financial statements. How can you prepare in the current year? Sit at the midnight of 31st March and you'll prepare. It will be finalized in the next financial year. Correct or wrong? So it must be done on a timely basis, because depending on your financial statements, many other things are linked out. Even cost audit is linked to financial statements. If financial statements were not completed, you can't complete your cost audit. At that time, you are having a big headache. You have to give a tentative report initially. And after giving a tentative report, and once the financial statements are finalized, company will inform you. Even though they did not inform, it's your mistake only. Because you should keep an eye on the track of the completion of financial statements of the company. Say the time period over, but financial statements not yet completed. Cost audit time period is over, but financial statements were not yet prepared. So now what you are supposed to do? Give a tentative report. Then you have to give the finalized report once after the financial statements of the company were actually ready. But the biggest problem, whether the company's financial statements were completed or not, they may or may not inform you. It's your duty to follow up the same. You can't escape, hey, that company did not give me the financial statements and hence I did not prepare. No, nobody is going to listen it. You have to continuously monitor them, and you have to ask them for the completion of financial statements. Till then, your liability will not be relieved. It's your responsibility. Anyways, clear everybody? So that is what your financial and accounting control. Timely preparation of financial statements, cost statements is very much necessary. And the last and final one?
Compliance.
Laws, rules, regulations, etc. and etc. You have to follow all those things. Like each and every industry needs to follow environmental rules and regulations. That's mandatory. Intama? Pollution? Corporate social responsibility is different. Corporate social responsibility ante you should help the society somehow. But this is like environmental standards are separately there. On that day I told you, if it is near to the residential area, the height of the chimney should be 90 meters. If it is far away from, it is around 60 meters. Like that, there will be some environmental rules and regulations. There is something called ecological cost. Some factories have to submit their reports even to the environmental boards. At that time, they need to compute how much damage they are causing to the environment. Yes, textile industry. Yes, there are. Even for, what is this called? Goods manufacturing industries, which will release waste into the environment. Even for those companies, yes, especially this glass and plastic industries, are supposed to compute the ecological damage that they are causing to the environment. And they are having a specific method to compute the ecological cost also. That will be released by environmental departments. Anyways, and one more thing, you can't claim that ecology cost as your deductible and allowable expense. Clear everybody? That is actually a damage that you are causing to the environment. And one more thing, what are the measures you have taken to restore that environment? Even that also you have to explain. Anyways, things are becoming too fragile nowadays that upon a time each and every debit is having equal and corresponding credit is accounts. But now accounts is not that one at all. That's the reason. What the account subject name of your CMA final? Corporate financial reporting. It's no more debit and credit now. It's like financial reporting. You have to report the things. Anyways, let's come back. So what are the 4 types of internal controls, Nana? Administrative controls, operational controls, financial and accounting controls, compliance controls. Clear everybody? Dash is totally relating to accounts. Dash is for the purpose of decision making. Operational control will be helpful for decision making because management accounting. Clear everybody? Administrative control for better decisions, and moreover administrative control is like better application of internal controls. అంటే అలా చెప్పొచ్చు, for effective implementation of internal controls you might have administration controls. Understood? and you have to follow rules and regulations. Compliance control. Clear, everybody? Accounting related controls. Better decision making is only through operational control. Remember that one. Operational control, you will get better decision making. Of course, you will get better decision making from any of these controls. But highlighting element is operational control only. Better implementation of all the internal controls. Administrative controls. Clear, everybody? That's it. And moving on to the next thing. Structure of internal controls and factors.
Explain the structure of internal control and its factors.
You think with common sense and tell me, for internal control, will there be any structure in an organization? Or commonly will there be any structure? No. Company to company, organization to organization, internal controls will differ. It's highly not possible to have a uniform structure. Please go ahead. And given a format, just you follow the format. That is all not working out at all. This is an important question. Take care. Please go ahead.
There is no uniform or identical in its approach of internal controls in all the organizations.
Yes, there's no uniform structure for these internal controls. It depends on the type of business. For education system, it should be like one kind of controls. For manufacturing entity, one kind of controls. For restaurant business, another kind of control. For petroleum companies, another kind of controls. Getting my point, everybody? It depends on the type of the business. Next one.
It often varies in concept and application.
Okay, the next one is like magnitude of the business. Depending upon the size of the business, depending upon the magnitude of the business, it will differ. Infrastructure available in the organization. If biometric is there, then the work is more simpler. If manual attendance is there, it's obviously a bit tough job. Clear, And the next one. Potentiality of the human resource and their outlook. In the sense, what kind of capability that your employees are having. Human resources. Clear, everybody? Even that shall be considered while designing the internal controls. Understood, everybody? Hey, tell me what are the things that will be considered while framing internal controls? Type of business, magnitude of business, infrastructure available in the organization, potentiality of human resources. Clear? Yes. Next one.
To ensure successful internal control system, following factors must be considered.
So the following factors must be considered for better internal controls. We can tell you the factors, but we can't tell you the structure. Consider the following factors in order to design your structure. Understood? Please.
Segregation and rotation of duties.
Yeah, this is very important. Segregation and rotation of duties. Say for example, a storekeeper is continuously a storekeeper for 10 years. Then chances of manipulation will be more. Ante kada. Moreover, if he had done the manipulation and if the rotation is segregated, then the new person is going to find the fraud. Is the logic understood? Say for example, existing CEO or existing board of directors. The department heads also must be segregated. Department heads also must be segregated. I've forgotten the name of the company. Assal na gurtu ravatledu. There is CEO for one of the company who indulged in huge frauds. He had indulged in huge frauds because of whistleblower. Company had come to know that the frauds happening in the company is because of CEO. Immediately they have decided to change the CEO, and the new CEO had come and he had unfolded all the frauds that were done by the old CEO. నాకు అస్సలు గుర్తు రావట్లేదు కంపెనీ పేరు. ఎస్పెన్. ఐ వాజ్ నాట్ ప్రెటీ ష్యూర్. జస్ట్ రీసెంట్గానే జరిగింది కూడా ఇది. రీసెంట్ అంటే మరి 1 month అని కాదు నా ఉద్దేశం. ఇన్ ఇండియా 7 years వరకు రీసెంట్ అని చెప్పొచ్చు. ఎస్ బ్యాంక్. ఓకే ఫైన్. ఎస్ బ్యాంక్ కూడా అదే స్ట్రక్చర్లో జరిగిందంట. But recently, before 1 year or 2 years, this kind of thing happened in one of the companies. Yes, bank కూడా same kind of fraud అంట కదా. సరే, anyways, let's come back. So segregation and rotation of duties is very much important. Segregation and rotation of duties is very much important in order to design your structure. Because only when segregation and rotation is there, you control, even though your controls are not proper, you might get some better outcome. Getting my point, everybody? Moreover, Indian psychology of employees are in such a way that నువ్వు తినకపోయినా పర్లేదు, వాడు మాత్రం తినకూడదు, అంతే కదా. సే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, స్టోర్ కీపర్ ఇస్ దేర్ హూ ఈస్ ఇన్ కంటిన్యూస్ మ్యానిపులేషన్. If at all another person was appointed in that storekeeper and rotation was segregated, so some other people, rotation has been done to some other person. So now if at all the new person and the existing person or old person are having some, what is it called, issues, rivalry, cold war, then automatically he'll corner. Even this kind of things also happen. But anyways, because of rotation of duties, obviously everybody will be having their sense while working. My work will be only for 1 month. Within 1 month I can't complete this scam, or I don't know when shall I be rotated. A new person will come, he might find the fraud that I have done, so I have to be very, very careful, and I have to complete the fraud within 2 to 3 days only. That is what your rotation of duties. And segregation, I already told you. Likewise, division of work. Counting must be done by one person. Loading and unloading must be done by another person. Entering into the books of records has to be done by another person. That is what segregation. Clear, everybody? Next.
Competence and integrity of people.
Of course, that's very, very important. See, I can't tell you put more internal controls here and put less internal controls here. It all depends on how your employees are efficient. If your human resource is efficient, then automatically, even though the controls are less, it's not a big deal at all. But if your human resource are not that efficient, then you have to make the work mechanical to the employees. Ante kada? Yes, you have to make the work mechanical to the employees if they are not capable. So they can't take timely decisions. Okay, I'll give you a checklist. Follow that checklist and take the decisions accordingly. I don't know what to do the audit. Something like best example. All the junior articled assistants don't know what to do at all. Might be senior articled assistants is having some knowledge. And senior articled assistants will not do the audit at all, and they will tell that the audit is completed. They can manage it. They can manage it very well. Because after doing the audit for 1.5 years, they'll be getting each and every essence of audit. Like they are getting some knowledge, which area they have to focus. But in the basic sense, audit is nothing but watching. Moreover, practically, you will be given only with the watching things. Hardly నీకు ఎక్కడైనా కొంచెం ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ వస్తుందంటే బ్యాంక్ ఆడిట్ అండ్ స్టాక్ ఆడిట్. But after doing one bank audit, you will get too much bored to do another bank audit. And moreover, if the bank audit is a concurrent audit, అంతకన్నా దరిద్రం ఇంకోటి ఉండదు. Too much routine, monotonous job is nothing but this concurrent audit. But what is far more interesting is that giving an AC room, giving a cabin, enjoying in that, enjoying the food, traveling, all those things you can enjoy in what. Actually, students or articled assistants fall trap in bank audit only for all these things rather than learning more. You know, I'll tell you a nonsense situation happened. It's too awkward. ఎంత awkward చెప్తా. APEPDCL, electricity power station. Like that, you're having AP, CPDCL, SPDCL. Guntur comes under CPDCL. Vijayawada comes under SPDCL. And Southern Power Station. It comes under Central Power Station. And Vizag comes under Eastern Power Station. So now the auditors have got the audit to do APEPDCL audit. It's actually a very good thing. You can learn more things while doing electricity audit, electricity companies audit. Because inka nannu adigite EP electricity companies audit is totally different even when compared to these bank audits. ఎక్కడ రిలేషన్ ఏమి ఉండదు. అంటే పీపుల్ విల్ బి టెల్లింగ్ దట్ యుల్ బి లర్నింగ్ మెనీ థింగ్స్ ఇన్ బ్యాంక్ ఆడిట్, బట్ మోర్ దాన్ దిస్ యుల్ బి లర్నింగ్ మెనీ అదర్ థింగ్స్ ఇన్ ఎలక్ట్రిసిటీ కంపెనీస్ ఆడిట్. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ రిలేటింగ్ దీస్ థింగ్స్, 2 things or 2 edges. బట్ బ్యాంక్ ఆడిట్లో నేర్చుకునే వాటికి యూ కాంట్ అప్లై ఎనీథింగ్ ఇన్ ఎలక్ట్రిసిటీ కంపెనీస్ ఆడిట్. దట్స్ వాట్ మై ఇంటెన్షన్. So the principal auditor had actually sent 3 members to do this EPDCL audit. ఎలా చేయాలి ఏంటి మొత్తం అన్నీ కూడా చెప్పారు. Whether you believe or not, the nonsense happened is that yes, ఫుడ్లో పాపడ్ కోసం కొట్టుకున్నారు వాళ్ళు. They did not do the audit at all. They did not do the audit. And you know, these principal auditors are very talented. Don't underestimate them. They know, no. They know whether their staff is doing the audit or not. Because signing authority, they have to sign it, right? At that time, 2 to 3 questions they will ask. Whether you have done the audit or not. వాళ్ళకి తెలిసిపోతుంది. What is the weakest area of that organization? వాళ్ళకి తెలుసు. Say for example, you are continuously doing audit for one company and now you were sent into that company to do the audit. Last year, what are the findings? This auditor knows it very well. This year, where you have to concentrate, this auditor knows very well. He'll just ask one question from that weakest area. Whether you have done the audit or not, that answer is enough to this principal auditor. ఆ తర్వాత చూసుకో వేరే వీరంగం జరుగుతుంది. అలా ఎనీవేస్ అంటే ఆపర్చునిటీస్ లేని వాళ్ళకి ఎలాగూ లేదు, ఆపర్చునిటీ ఉన్న వాళ్ళు కూడా నేర్చుకొని స్టూడెంట్స్ కూడా చాలామంది ఉన్నారు. బట్ ఇన్ ఏపీఈపీడీసీఎల్ ఆడిట్ యూ కెన్ లెర్న్ లాట్ మెనీ థింగ్స్. జస్ట్ computation of security deposit, you will be having one formula if you have remembered. In your CMA inter, you will be having computation of security deposit. You have to multiply it with load factors, etc. and etc. Practically, how you have to apply that load factor? వాడికి తెలియకపోతే నీకు తెలుస్తుందా ఏంది? ఆబ్వియస్లీ వాడికి తెలియాలి, అదర్వైజ్ హౌ ఈజ్ ఇట్ పాసిబుల్ కదా? Anyways, listen, you'll be having one sort of load factor or something like that. But how to compute that security deposit and in what situations what load factors will be taken, all these things were practically will be there in this electricity audit. You can enjoy that actually. You can literally enjoy that. But people can't. And I went to one of the internal audit. I went for one of the company's internal audit where it is very good kind of thing. Their business is to cut the wooden logs and they'll just sell the same. They'll be getting raw material, some sort of hardwood ostadannamata. They will be cutting it into some wooden logs and they'll sell the same. And the same is done on the basis of job but not on the basis of batch. And they'll be generating some orders. And in the orders they'll be telling in what dimensions they want it. Circular dimension and what is a radius. Square dimension, what is a diagonal that they should have. What is a measure of length and breadth. How many logs they want. This is what the business of that particular company. They'll get some raw wood and mortar. So they have to cut into wooden logs and they just need to sell the same. On the basis of job costing, they have to do the same. You know, like literally I'm telling, I've enjoyed that stock audit a lot and lot. Not internal audit, it was actually a stock audit. Aim ledu, just 1 or 2 days audit. You just need to check out the job orders. You just need to check out the job orders and work progress. What the progress of work has been done. How many were finished, how many are work in progress, whether the finished was matching to that job orders or not. Hardest part what I enjoyed is that to know the radius of that circle logs. Circle wooden logs ki radius to part మీరు కట్ చేసి ఇవ్వాలన్నమాట. So that measurement is actually very good. They will be having some circular things for that. ఒక డివైస్ ఉంటుంది, ఆ డివైస్తో వాళ్ళు మెజర్ చేస్తారు అంతే. అదేం స్పెసిఫిక్గా నువ్వేం స్కేల్ పెన్సిల్ పెన్ను పట్టుకెళ్ళి యూ వోంట్ డూ ఎనీథింగ్. ఎనీవేస్ వాట్ మై ఇంటెన్షన్ ఈస్ దట్ ఇన్ ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ దెర్ ఆర్ సమ్ స్పెషల్ థింగ్స్. You know, there is an insurance audit on survey report. There was an insurance audit on the survey report, which was submitted by the surveyors. I mean to tell, like, say for example, there was an insurance company. There was an insurance company. Say for example, one of the client had come to claim some damage. Immediately, insurance company will be forwarding the same file to the surveyors. Licensed surveyors will be there. They have to survey and they have to give the report to the insurance company. Depending on that, they will be releasing the claim to the customer. This is what the process. But on a random basis, say for example, if this person, if we have given 10 surveys to one licensed surveyor, on a random basis, they will be giving one of the file to another person to do the audit. On the survey report, they will be asking you to do the audit. By letting you to know the facts. They'll give you the facts and they'll give you the report. Adi chala difficult kuda. Because you can't physically ask anyone there. Say for example, in an year, I have given 10 surveys to Mr. A. Mr. A had given 10 survey reports. But I'm having doubt on Mr. A. So I just need to conduct an audit on Mr. A. So randomly I'll pick 2 to 3 files. I'll be giving the fact. I'll be giving the reports. I'll be giving you the locations to the person who is supposed to conduct this insurance audit on survey reports. It's difficult ante that might happen before 1 year. That business might not be there now. That person might not be there now. But you just need to unfold the facts and you just need to tell the same. Hope you are getting my point. So there are many kinds of audit. For your kind information, all these are the examples for internal audit only. Yes, stock audit is a kind of internal audit. Sudden surprise. Whether you're doing the work properly or not. Whether the finished good is proper or not. Whether the stock is manipulated or is it in the godown or not. Everything is a kind of internal audit itself. Clear everybody? Anyways, let me move on to the next thing.
Appropriate
So depending upon the competency and integrity of the people, whether they are honest, whether they are consistent, whether they are attending, whether they are knowledgeable, depending on all these things, what happens? You have to frame your internal controls. Clear everybody? Next one.
appropriate levels of authority.
Appropriate levels of authority. This is very important. Please read it.
A common error usually made is to grant too much authority within control boundaries. Sometimes this is deliberately done to expedite the things or to handle the emergencies. However, controls to be effective require the authority to be granted on a need to have basis only. If there is no need for a particular person to have a specific authority, he or she should not be granted such authority.
Never give too much authority to anyone. If you give too much authority to any person, they might misuse and abuse their position. So you have to give the authorities only on need to have basis. If the need arises, you give that. If the need is not there, withdraw the authority from him. Clear everybody? So you have to do the same on need to have basis. Say for example, purchase department head's authorization is highly enough to purchase the good. But to purchase an asset, you need the authorization of board of director. Purchase department head's authorization is not enough because purchase department head authorization is only for purchase of good but not for purchase of asset. Never grant this authority to department head. Clear everybody? And say for example, purchase department heads need some of the infrastructure for his department, like some systems or one AC, some infrastructure facilities are needed to him. He would like to purchase all the same. He is raising the quotation, he is paying the bills, and he is getting all the things and intimated to the management. Clear everybody? Provided if this kind of authority is given to purchase department manager. If the same authority is not there, then automatically he can't do that one. He can't manipulate that. Understood everybody? Sir, purchase department manager might manipulate with purchase of goods but might not manipulate with purchase of asset and ankokandi. Even they can, sir, intention if it is to manipulate, they can manipulate anything. If they would like to do the fraud, they can do the fraud in any way. Satakoti daridralika anantakoti upayalan chebutaru anduke. So if you want to do something manipulation, you can. However way you want. Nobody are going to stop you. Unless and until it was unfolded out. But gurtu pettukondi. At one time or the other, it will be unfolded out. Any years nundi chestunna 1992, scam 1992. Harshad Mehta, am I correct or wrong? Sir, at one point of time, it will be coming out for sure. Sir, even as of now, many scams might be happening in corporates. Avutune untayi. But remember, slowly each one will be unfolded and it will be found out. At the end of the day, they will be caught for sure. Sir, you know, upon a time, audit report is a bit flexible to the auditor to the extent of my knowledge. But that word is not there now. That word is not there now. To the extent of my knowledge was taken off. Now it is to the extent of your knowledge. You have to get the knowledge and you have to do the audit. Because the main culprits in this entire scams are the auditors. They are the main culprits. Auditors were appointed to find the fraud, but they are involving in the fraud. Dhima evadu pattukuntalle. Hey, that was the only thing. Irresponsibility and greedy for money. You should never have greedy for money. If you have, you will be starting manipulations. Anyways, let's go back. So, too much authority should never be given to anyone. You have to give only on need to have basis. But sometimes, this too much authority will be given deliberately. Either to expedite the things or to handle the emergencies. In some situations, we are supposed to give the authority to the other person. Yes, there's no other option. Say for example, there's a principal who is running a college or a school. But all of a sudden, principal has to go to camp for 7 days. Can he close the school for 7 days? No, it's impossible. Then automatically he has to give his authority to another person. Kind of. And whatever the authority principal is having, now that authority was passed on to some other person in order to expedite the things or in order to handle some emergencies. And you know, sometimes this will be given very deliberately to find, to put a check on that person. You're having doubt on certain person, but he's not getting caught. So you have to make him to caught. So what to do? You give too much authority to that person. Then he'll be starting doing the fraud. Immediately catch him. Understood everybody? Yes, these are the traps which will be done by corporate sectors. This is one of the traps which will be done by corporate sector. All of a sudden one person will be come for. Hey, you are becoming team leader from today. How you are managing the things, they'll unfold. If you are capable and if you are honest, they'll promote you. If not, they will retrench you. Anyways, next.
Accountability.
Very, very important. A particular person must be accountable for the work that he is doing. Hey, I must be accountable for this subject to teach you properly. This is my 3rd batch. Even today, I'll be checking some things before coming to the class. Yes, because it's my responsibility to make it more clear for you. Might be for the first batch, I was little fumble and tumble. For sure. Because I need little experience. At that time, I was a bit mechanical. What I learned, I used to tell. But now I can deal with my experiences. Because I can get that edge. And accountability is very much important. Say for example, when control is given to one person, whether he is doing the same or not. Sir, best example, cameras. Internal control or not. But CC department is not working properly. Getting my point, everybody? Cameras is installed for internal control only, but CC department is not working at all. The staff in CC department is always sleeping. First of all, you have to keep an eye and camera on the CC department. Clear, everybody? So accountability. A person who is having a responsible task or who was given a task, he needs to finish off the same and he must be fully accountable for the same. Next.
Adequate resources.
Without having adequate resources, you can't do anything. So controls are enforced with inadequate resources. You can't achieve anything. Stress will be increased in the employees. Some sort of dissatisfaction will increase among them. And at the end of the day, staff will not work and they'll just leave the organization. So you have to plan the internal control structure by considering adequate resources. You can't put all the controls only to one person to monitor. It's very, very difficult. You have to segregate and you have to rotate even the duties of the same. Understood, everybody? So adequate resources. Without adequate resources, you can't plan for internal control. Hey, what is this question? Structure and factors. Do you have a uniform structure? But you are having some. Depending on the factors, you can frame it. Perfect. Next.
Supervision and periodical
At
updation.
the end of the day, if there are nobody to supervise, then it is totally wasted. Best example, I already told you, CC department. Supervision is very important. Sir, work done by you must be supervised by some other person. Otherwise, whatever you have done, that will become correct. But whenever it is reaching the customer, then the problems arises. Clear, everybody? That is what your supervision and periodical updation. And periodically you have to update the same. Periodically you have to supervise what is the work completed, to what extent it was completed, etc. and etc. And you just need to give the same. Respond, everybody, pakka. Hey, tell me some of the things. What are the factors? Segregate. Hey, don't just see and don't just by heart. Whatever you remember, you tell me that. Segregation and rotation of duties. Compliance. Inka. Supervision. Accountability. Adequate resources. So somehow you can remember, but don't just by heart and muck up the things all the time. Clear, everybody? Yes, and some of the things are like appropriate levels of authorities. Okay. Appropriate levels of authority is nothing but don't give too much authority to any person. Just extend need to have basis. But sometimes you have to do deliberately, either to handle the emergencies or to find the frauds. Respond, everybody, pakka. Here are the 4 controls of internal controls, 4 types of internal controls. Administrative control, operational controls, financial and accounting control, compliance control. Is there a uniform structure or not? But you are having some, depending upon the factors, you can frame the structure. Clear, everybody? And the next one. Yeah, next question. Question number 10.
What are the limitations of internal control?
Tell me what are the limitations of internal control? Time, cost, ante kada? Of course, yes. Because if there are more controls, you may need to perform more, for which you need one employee. Of course, cost. Clear, everybody? Please go ahead.
Limitations of internal control.
So it is very costly affair. So wherever you are putting an internal control with more cost, immediately do CBA analysis. A very popular analysis, cost and benefit analysis. What is the cost you incurred and what is the benefit you are getting? What is the cost incurred and what is the benefit you are getting? So CBA, cost and benefit analysis. If anything is related to cost, immediately please go with a CBA analysis and then you decide whether to put the same or not. Next.
No control for unusual transactions.
Yes, sir. Even though there are many internal controls, you can't control for unusual transactions. Most of the controls are designed for unusual transactions, but you can't control unusual transactions. Because one unusual in the sense a kind of abnormal, not on a routine basis. One fraud was found out. He'll find in some other way to do the same fraud. అంతే కదా. ఫైండింగ్ అదర్ వేస్ టు do the same wrong things. Don't use the phones in the classroom. You'll find some other ways to use the same. Even after getting caught too, you'll be telling that I did not use the phone. Prove me that I have used the phone. ఏసీ కెమెరా డెస్క్ లోపల కనిపించదు కదరా, వెనక నుండి పెట్టలేదుగా, ముందు నుండి పెట్టారు. And moreover, you'll be hiding the phones like anything. In hostels, checking whether you are having mobile phones or not. Bebe, I'm not having mobile phone, sir. No. You'll be throwing it in a dustbin for a while. Huh? And you'll be putting somewhere. Even you'll throw in washrooms. ఇంకేమైనా ఉన్నాయా? All your better places. Even ఏంటది ఫ్యాన్ పైన. All nonsenses you'll be doing actually. Anyways, let's come back. So, unusual transactions. Even though there are internal controls, you can't control unusual transactions. They will happen forever. They'll happen like that. Next.
Human error.
For human error, who can do what? Moreover, in India, it's a privilege to take. Sorry, sir, I have forgotten. I did not see it. Yes, in India, it's a privilege. But the same can't be done in developed nations. You must be, if you are held responsible, then you must be responsible. They are not supposed to take your word like sorry, I have forgotten, oversight. కుదరదు, మర్చిపోయాను, చూసుకోలేదు. These things won't work out there. But here it's not like that. చలేగా, sorry sir, I have forgotten. From the next time, this is the greatest privilege. Sorry sir, from the next time I'll be doing it properly. In the sense, you know that this time you did not do it proper. For the next time, you will be telling the same answer. So forever it continues. Anyways. So human judgment, especially in decision making, can be faulty and breakdowns in internal controls because of human error. For example, error in the design or in change to a control. If the design is wrong, how much of a controls you are having, you can't do anything. Clear everybody? Sir, structure of your internal control system is wrong. Management is not putting proper controls. Then itself is the biggest problem. Am I correct or wrong? Next.
Collusion among employees.
Nonsense. Collusion among employees. ఏంటది? Papad example. Okay. And not only that one, they will be joining their hands with the customers in order to do some frauds. Collusion among employees in the sense, not only employees fighting among themselves, they will be finding ways to do the fraud. They will be joining hands with the customer. Customer is supporting to the employee. Best example. You know what these article students will do? They will be getting good knowledge, everything from principal auditor, and he will be handling all the clients, and after the completion of his CA, he'll take every client. You are having a client from your principal auditor. Adigo. Manipulation, collusion among employees. Skill కాదది. వాళ్ళు అడిగితే నువ్వేం చెప్పాలి? I'm very sorry. You have to work on an ethical basis. I'm very sorry, sir. I was just an employee under my principal auditor. I can't handle all these things. Moreover, ethically, I should not do this thing. We are having in CMA Final a collusion of employees. Sorry, sir. By that time, you might have completed your CA internal audit. You are having the same. But hope అంటే ఈ సబ్జెక్ట్ని నిజంగా ఎవరు బాగా ఎంజాయ్ చేస్తారు తెలుసా? Who are having good practical knowledge. Because all these things happens in your audit firm. Different things will happen. Anyways, అప్పడం కోసం కాదు. Next one.
Abuse of authority.
Yes, abuse of authority. You should never override the control, and you should never misutilize the power that you are having, and you should never abuse the authority that you have got. Clear everybody? Best example. Those people who favor the internal controls are overriding the controls. Clear everybody? Management themselves is telling to do the work properly, but they are not working properly. Management themselves are telling be on time, but they will never come on time. For that purpose, they will be appointing one more person. Obviously, that is a kind of costly affair. Am I correct or wrong? If the business is yours, you come on time and you monitor everything. No. You will not work properly and you will expect all the other people to work properly. Clear, everybody? No, but whenever you were given an authority, never misuse that authority and never abuse that authority. Next.
Inadequate procedure.
Yes. Your internal controls might harm sometimes. Your internal controls might harm sometimes, and your internal controls, if more internal controls are there where the controls are not needed, then automatically it will become a big flop show. The next one, sometimes, market conditions are not static every time. They will continuously change. Did you remember at the first question? You have to develop your plan, etc. and etc. on a periodical basis. Sir, if internal audit itself is planned on a periodical basis, just think how carefully you have to monitor the internal controls. If the market conditions are changing, you have to change it accordingly. Clear, everybody? Next.
Manipulations by management.
With respect to the transactions or estimates, judgments required in preparation of financial statements, they can wantedly manipulate whatever they want because everything is there in their hands. Kada. Say for example, provision 10% they need to create, but they are creating 12%, 20%. Who will ask them? If auditor asks the same, they'll be telling, no sir, we are estimating the same in the current year. Auditor is not the best judge for that. Auditor is not the best judge to tell how much provision the management has to create. Who is the best judge for that one? Management is the best judge for that one because they know about their business. They know that only 2% provision is enough, but they are creating 10% provision. Clear, everybody? Or they know that 10% provision is needed, but wantedly they are not at all creating the provision in order to show more financial results so that market price will increase. Getting my point, everybody? So this is what your limitations of internal control, which is an important question. 9 practical questions. Sare ma, bye ma.